Welcome to Chabad. Please join us. Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Ve'eschanan. The question of the week is, when should we give up praying? So in this week's Torah portion, Parshas Ve'eschanan, the Torah tells us Ve'eschanan, Moshe Rabbeinu pleaded with God to allow him to go into the land of Israel. And it uses an expression as Ve'eschanan, and our commentaries tell us that Moshe Rabbeinu prayed to God 515 prayers that God should allow him to go into the land of Israel. And still God refused. So the question is asked, Moshe Rabbeinu knew, because God told him he was not going into the land of Israel. So why did Moshe Rabbeinu continue to pray and pray and pray if he knew he was not going to gain entry into the land of Israel? Now we know the reason why Moshe Rabbeinu could not go into the land of Israel was because since there were people that were not going to go into the land of Israel, Moshe Rabbeinu had to stay with them, but nevertheless he kept on praying. Why did he keep on praying? And the Rebbe explains, because even though he technically didn't go in, but Moshe Rabbeinu's prayers will eventually be answered. Because Moshe Rabbeinu is with us in exile, and when the Messiah comes, Moshe Rabbeinu was the first Redeemer that took us out of Egypt, and he will be the Redeemer that will take us out of this exile, and he will lead us back eventually into the land of Israel. So even though his prayers were not answered at this point in the Torah portion, but eventually his prayers will be answered. So the answer to the question, when should we stop praying? Never. Because sometimes our prayers are answered right away, and sometimes it takes many, many years and many lifetimes, but eventually all our prayers get answered. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated to the memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib, Shlomo ben Yosef, and Rachel bas Lipa. May their souls be elevated by the Torah we're studying in their memory. For more information, please see our website, chabadswf.org. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson.